great to see the response to a long neglected part of African American history. The history of, I like to refer to, and I think you'll probably agree, once you've seen the pieces in the back, the Courier and Ives posters of African American jockeys, not as lawn jockeys, but these were authentic racing jockeys. The first 14 of 17 Kentucky Derbies were won by African American jockeys. Long neglected part of our history has been revealed through photographs, through posters, through historical references that just couldn't be swept under the rug. And so as those of us who like to explore have begun digging, we've uncovered some real treasures, and some of them are represented here. And I'd like to kind of share the fact that photography was in its infancy at the same time that the golden age of African American jockeys were in the forefront. We began working with horses, as you know, on the plantations. We tended the horses. We were the original horse whisperers. We had a relationship with all things that happened on the plantation. They used to have races, just two jockeys and two horses on the fields throughout the state. And these races were to see whose plantation had the fastest horses. Well, of course, that grew, and it became America's first sport. So it wasn't boxing, it was horse racing. And it became known as the race of kings. The horse owners had championships. They had to, based on where they were regionally. Of course, horse racing began in the South, and it expanded. Leland Stanford had a horse farm in California. Stanford University now occupies that space. They had the Northeast wing of the United States had its own horse farms, and so everybody competed against everybody else. Who had the fastest horses? Who had the best jockeys? Well, of course, the names that come immediately to mind are Isaac Murphy, James Winkfield. These are just the best known of the jockeys. We owned the horses at one time. We walked the horses at one time. We groomed them. We spoke to them. We raced them. Sometimes, if we lost a race, we were sold back into slavery. I mean, you know, the tragedy of America, you know, much of it is reflected in the history of what I refer to as the golden age of African American jockeydom. So what we're going to see today is how photography played this role. Because, of course, we're all interested